Pastor Curt Hunt at Grace United Methodist Church in Lafayette, Indiana, and this is the third in my series, The Gospel According to the Beatles. Today's rather dreary as I look out the front window of the parsonage here. It's been raining, it's cloudy. It kind of reflects the mood of our nation, the mood of all of us in these times of trouble with the COVID-19 virus and the fact that we're somewhat isolated from one another for health reasons. It reminds me of a dark time in my life when my dad had a stroke. And that happened almost 30 years ago when he was in his early 70s. And even though he survived, he was never the same. But at the time, I didn't know whether he would be surviving or not. And I was traveling from Indiana to North Carolina, where he and my mom lived at the time, to be with him and to see how he was. And I was pretty distraught. And I was driving on the interstate through the mountains of western North Carolina when the sun came out, and I heard this song simultaneously to that happening, and it lifted my spirits. It gave me hope. It helped me reflect on the fact that God is with us always. His grace precedes us and wants us to have hope in our lives, to know that there is something coming that will be good and that all will be well. George Harrison wrote this particular song, and he did it at the home of a friend of his. You may have heard of him, Eric Clapton. And George just started playing the beginning of it. You know, he starts playing a little dee-dee-dee-dee, and then he started putting the lyrics to the music and began writing that song that day. He was going through a very dark time in his life as well, as the Beatles were starting to crumble, and they had a lot of legal problems and things along those lines. And so it was a song of hope for him as well. And it goes like this. Little darling, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, dee-dee-dee-dee. Here comes the sun, I say, it's all right. So that kind of lays the groundwork that even though we're in the midst of a time of turmoil, a time of dreariness, a time of, for many of us, depression, even as we looked at the clouded day that we have, there's something hopeful coming. And I want to suggest to you that it goes with what God is desiring for us. The song continues, little darling, the smiles returning to the faces. Little darling, it seems like years since it's been here. Here comes the sun, dee-dee-dee. Here comes the sun, I say, it's all right. So hope is on the horizon. There will be an end to this crisis. We will see a new normal, although things may change, but there is goodness to be had, and that goodness comes directly from God. And I think George understood this, that when the trial is over, things will break, and the newness of life will once again reflect on all that we do and infuse us with the love of God that hasn't left us, but that we will fully be able to express because we are closer to Him. And the song ends like this. Little darling, I feel that ice is slowly melting. Little darling, it feels like years since it's been clear. Here comes the sun, dee-dee-dee. Here comes the sun, I say, it's all right. So to all my friends out here watching this video, I want to tell you it's all right. We will get through this, and God's love will stand fast with us during this process. This is Pastor Curt Hunt, Lafayette Grace United Methodist Church. May God bless you all.